So welcome everyone, thank you for joining us. Today we will have a conversation with Professor Igarashi. Professor Igarashi's research is very interesting and it can potentially help us save this planet.
Yes.
My name is Laur KIIK. I'm a postdoc in Tokyo College, part of Tokyo University. And I am not a biologist, I'm not a chemist. When I was reading about your research, it really reminded me that my physics, chemistry, biology classes were a very long time ago in high school. So I barely understand. But from what I think I understood is that you are looking at how we can use the knowledge inside nature, how mushrooms break apart trees, how mushrooms take and break apart trees, and use that knowledge from the mushrooms, learn from the mushrooms how to create energy. And then maybe we don't have to use oil all the time and natural gas and all these fossil fuels that are heating up our planet and destroying our future. So is that more or less correct, or could you please tell us what your research is about?
You completely understand my research, I think. And actually the mushroom, we call wood-rotting fungi. They are very good organisms because they can just utilize the wood. Not like us, the fossil resources or something others, but their bodies, for example, their bodies and their energies are all can come from wood. So that means they have the enzymes which can degrade the wood itself.
And enzymes are basically like
digest
special chemical that makes things work faster.
Yeah, because in the case of the wood, the component of wood is just the cellulose and the hemicellulose and the lignin. You don't need to remember that kind of chemicals, but which we don't utilize for the many animals, especially like us. We can't eat. For example,
we cannot eat it.
If you eat wood, just they removed from our bodies, right? But in the case of the mushroom, they can degrade it, and then if for example the cellulose is degraded, it's converted to glucose. Glucose is
sugar.
Very nice sugar for many organisms. So that's why we can utilize glucose to the other compounds like ATP, for example. ATP is kind of the energy source of all of the living things. So that's why they can survive just eating wood. So that kind of power is quite interesting for me, at least. And also I think it's the hidden something.
Like a hidden superpower.
Yes, of that kind of species or organisms.
So because what we do with wood is we cut it, we build houses, we make tables, and then we burn it, and that's not very efficient, I guess. We don't know how else to use it, and I guess what your research is showing that we can use wood and the leftovers from our logging and from our construction, old wood, we can use it in a much smarter way and get energy out of it in a much faster, smarter way, because these mushrooms can teach us how to do that.
Maybe we human beings just utilize wood like some physical properties of wood. For example, it's really tough to do everything, and that's why we can use such kind of things for the construction or houses. But and also we can utilize that part for paper, for example, paper makings. The paper is made from wood, so that's why we always utilize the physical strengths of the wood. But in the case of the mushrooms, they are utilizing the chemical utilization. So that's a very important difference between our utilization and their utilization.
Why is that? Is it faster? Is it smarter? Is it more efficient?
Maybe in the case of the chemical utilization, they can change to something. I mean,
Change wood into something else.
yes, that's a very important part because nowadays we like to use, for example, the PET bottle, for example, or
Like plastic bottles for
plastics bottle.
drinking.
Yes, and also so many type of, for example, sugars to eat, for example.
Too much.
Yeah, right. But in that kind of case, still we have a huge amount of biomass is remained on the earth because the wood is not utilized at all. Just the mushroom or some other related fungi or microbes can utilize such kind of the carbon-containing compounds. So that's why we like to develop such kind of methods for human beings.
So I would like to ask, like, we've all probably heard about biofuels.
Yeah.
And that, you know, in Europe where I'm from, we have
maybe you know about
big
that.
policies that let's grow all these, I think, bushes, or I'm not sure, and lots of like kind of forestry with the goal of then breaking it down and burning it, I guess, and making fuel instead of importing oil and instead of maybe using natural gas. Or so, but then there was lots of criticism, or I'm not sure. I only remember that vague feeling that I read somewhere that but look, this is actually. It sounded like a good idea, but it didn't turn out so nice because we ended up cutting all these forests and it burning these trees, and it wasn't as sustainable as we thought it was. And so the kind of boom of biofuel, there was jatropha and all these plants in Southeast Asia, they were planting everywhere, and let's make biofuel, boom, and then it kind of dropped out of the news, it could fade away. So why is that, and is the way you are proposing to produce energy from wood, is it better, or why is it? Is that a different way, or how to understand this difference?
Yeah, because the comparing to such kind of energy crops or something which I mean, maybe you are a bit. You should know that about the difference between the utilizing the wood for just biomass energy. In that kind of case, they burn anyway. They cut the tree, and then the burning the wood and making the energy. But it's soon becoming a CO2 in the case of that kind of burning. So maybe utilizing wood is completely different way. But that's we should utilize at least the very strong part, the physically strong part should be the house or the tables or such kind of some materials, but the remaining part are still there, right? For example, the sawdusts or the barks, they are becoming the other compounds. For example, in the case of the bark, maybe in the case of the bark, since the calorie of energy is really high comparing to the other part, so that's why it's much better to burn and making the energy. And of course, the chemical components of bark is a bit difficult to convert using even using our enzymes.
Even the mushrooms don't know how to break them up.
Not so much. Yeah. So that's why the bark part can be utilized for some burning and making the energy, but there's still other remaining part can be converted to the sugars, and that sugar is going to not only the plastics but also some other, for example, the fuels or some other chemicals. It's quite easy to change the shape. So that's why it's becoming some total use of the wood. But in the case of the biomass utilization now, it's a bit, for example, for me, it's a bit, limited. So that's why we would like to make some good technology to utilize many more efficient way.
So it's a smarter way.
Yeah, smarter way.
Smarter way of using wood. And I remember from reading about your work that you make this comparison about time.
Yes.
The scales of time.
Yes.
that now we are burning fossil fuels, so we're using fossil fuels, and these were made for several hundred millions of years. Huge amount of time that for planet Earth it took to create this oil, and now we're quickly using it up because we need to heat, and we need the cars, and we need everything, and we need the plastic and so on. But the trees that grow around, behind our window here, they grow much faster than several hundred millions of years. So when we use these trees to get energy, in a way we can be in better synchrony with planet Earth. With its time scales, we can use as much as planet Earth is able to produce. Now we are using up something that took forever to use, and we can't wait another several hundred million years for the oil to come back so we can use it. So you are making this argument that we can, in a way, be in harmony or synchrony with the time scale of planet Earth itself.
Of course, I think that's almost the limitation of our human beings' utilization. Of course, still our energy consumption is too much. So comparing to the energy consumption right now, maybe in the future we should decrease more than 1/10 or 100 or something like that. But at least now we consume so huge amount of energy. But actually, I can say it's a kind of some waste of energy, because our technology is too primitive to keep some, for example, to make some things. We consume too much energy, like just a cup or just a pet bottle
or a plastic bottle. We take so much energy to make the bottle, so much energy to transport it around, just to drink a glass of water, basically, and then so much energy to burn that plastic.
So that's why, at least, of course, we should decrease such kind of energy as much as we can, and then finally the remaining energy should be provided from something. So then I can say that the wood or some other compounds could be changed to and of course, for example, the airplane, the aviation fuel, it could be really, how to say, huge energy. We can say, if I go to for example, other country, it's very consuming the energy at least. But still, when we can make such kind of fuel from wood or some other like algae, then it's much better than fossil resources.
So all of this we can learn from the mushrooms. And I understood that one more thing you're learning from mushrooms, if I understood correctly, is how to make wood. So that's pretty amazing. I understand that these days professors in the fields around these buildings here, this part of the campus in bioengineering and biotech and so on, are able to create life, are able to create cells, are able to create, really new forms of life and make things live, which is, I think, for me as someone from outside of the field, it's pretty amazing, and it really makes you rethink what is life. So understand that you are able to make wood by reversing the process. That the mushrooms show us, using the enzymes, how to break apart cellulose and other parts of wood and make energy. And now you are learning how to reverse, go in the the other side, the other way, and actually make wood out of water. How would that work? Can you do it already?
Yeah, because we utilize, not in that kind of case, we use the bacterial enzyme, but the enzyme itself, maybe you can understand the enzyme, and the reaction of the enzyme is reversible. When we would like to break down, for example, the polymers or take out something huge compounds, then we can use enzyme anyway. But at least that reaction, chemical reaction, is reversible. So that's why when we just add the many, the huge amount of concentration of the products, then the back reaction is starting. So using that system, of enzymes, we can produce using the degrading enzyme. So it's really, how to say, for me or for you, it should be very, how to say, well, what's happening, or it's quite a miracle or something. But at least in the case of the enzyme is not deciding the how to say, the reaction, how to say, the direction or orientation. So that's why if the larger molecules are there, they are making some small compounds. But if the small compounds are there, then they can make the larger compounds. It can be quite easily converted each other. This is because enzyme doesn't need so much energy to have one reaction.
And so, can you do it already? Can you make wood?
Not wood, but some of wood components we have already made from small compounds. So then, now we are making some the cellulose powder using the enzymes.
So can I ask, a silly question, so in the end, are we able to make wood and trees, and does it mean that we won't need to cut down so many trees?
Right.
Does it mean we can save some of the wildlife, some of the forest, some of the biodiversity of our planet? We are cutting down so many forests. Forests are decreasing from all over the planet. There's no space for animals and birds and snakes and other forms of life besides ourselves.
Yeah.
Other forms of life have no space to live anymore. So does this kind of research in the end, that you are able to make wood, and maybe then we won't need to cut down wood?
Right.
It almost sounds like synthetic meat, that maybe we can start making meat, so we won't need to have massive cow farms and sheep farms and chicken farms, and we can just make the meat without cutting down the trees and feeding the animals and torturing the animals.
Yeah.
Is that a similar thing, that we can stop logging?
Yeah. It's actually really same. And for example, the wood without tree, meaning the wood component or wood-like materials is made from, without wood. That's a very important part, I think, because always we have to kill something to live. In the case of human beings, so then if we just utilize the part of such kind of microbes or the living wood itself, then we don't need to make something for the.
We don't need to kill.
Yeah, we don't need to use living materials. Enzyme itself is not living. That's just a chemical compounds. So that's why we would like to utilize such kind of compounds without making living things. Yeah, do you understand? It's a bit difficult, at least.
And so from what I understand is that you are teaching us, or you're learning from mushrooms how to use trees and wood smarter, so that we wouldn't have to kill so much.
Right.
And can you tell us a little bit more personally, how did you get interested in these topics? What was your journey? How did you end up on this kind of a topic? How did you discover this superpower mushrooms?
Of course, in our department, the previous name of our department is Forest Product Sciences. So that in Japanese it's Rinsangaku. Yeah, but that means we utilize something from forest. Yeah, but in the case of our laboratory, we utilize something, not the forest products, but not wood. That's our laboratory's thing. So then one major part is a mushroom, because mushroom is come from wood or forest, but it's not wood, at least. So that's why we, at least when I was an undergraduate students, it's still only the topics is there. So then I thought that what's doing, what's the mushroom is doing, and knowing how to degrade the wood. Then we start to understand, they are eating wood and they are growing the mushroom part. using the wood components. It's really amazing because
So you were a bachelor student and you just thought about the mushrooms.
yeah.
Okay.
until then, yeah, I spent 30 years, yeah, to do the mushroom work. Yeah.
And I know that you're part of this group of professors now called UT7,
Yeah.
University of Tokyo 7. So and you are all united by what you just described, a sense of curiosity.
Yeah.
That you just were thinking, what are these mushrooms? How can they do this? What are they doing with the wood? And you let the curiosity drive you to understand that UT7 is about curiosity-driven research.
Yes.
So, and it also rethinks, you are united by rethinking life. And like you just described, you are now in a way able to make life, you're able to make kind of forms or parts of life, kind of like wood, kind of like trees. So for any one of us, that makes us rethink, what do we really know about life and what is life. So could you tell us a little bit about UT7 and how you see your research fit into that, and how are you rethinking curiosity research and life?
Okay, yeah, because in the case of the UT7, we just started from the, as you say, the curiosity-driven research. So that for me, it's just for fun, because right now the many researchers are really worried about we can't do such kind of research. I mean, the curiosity-driven research using the governmental money or universities, laboratories, and everything. And then we just, I would say, there's so much. We are so frustrated anyway. Because we can't have such kind of research, curiosity-driven research. So then the UT7 is just the member. They just joining to the in that kind of purposes at first. So then we start to think about what kind of things we have to do. So then we try to have the rather small money to anyway we join to some part, and then we make the homepage, for example, and then also that we make some pamphlet or something like that. But then we start to think about just talking is not enough, and we like to have some research activity. And now we start to have some laboratory, the common laboratory, all of the people. But to have such kind of things, maybe the professors, only professors are not enough. So that's why we are involving the students and also the high school students to have the educational program. And of course, that in that kind of case, the people can support the young people. So that's why we are now having some the activity of not only the research but also the educational activity involving all of the things. And after that, we will try to have some curiosity-driven research with young people and other people.
And that relates to a question that I have is, when we create this kind of space of curiosity-driven free research, that we shouldn't worry about applying for grants all the time and what is the benefit immediately to economy, industry, or society, politics, policy. We don't need to immediately worry about these things, and we can just follow our curiosity, have fun, and then end up discovering something that maybe ends up being very useful and very beneficial, right? But this kind of freedom is very hard to find, and how to create a system that it doesn't become even more unequal, where we have a small group of researchers, me included, us, we have this freedom that we can pursue our curiosity and so on. But so many of our colleagues, our friends, we know, are struggling on the job market. They have to teach many courses every day. They don't have time to do research or submit articles. Then they cannot get a new job. They're jumping from one university to the next. They're trying to survive in the system. So how can we create a system that it doesn't become even more unequal, that there's some group of people who have so much freedom, the select few on the mountaintop, and then the rest have no access to such freedom? How do we balance maybe distributing the freedom or concentrating the freedom so that it can really be powerful, or how do you see this kind of a choice?
Because, I think for me, after making UT7, still we are struggling. Such kind of, I mean, the busy work every day. But the point is maybe how much percentage is we have a freedom, and we start to realize that only small. Even a small percentage of the freedom, still our life is becoming so, I would say, interesting and curiosity driven. Not only for our research, but also the daily business, still becoming very, I would say, the fruitful. Yeah. So that's why I don't think our activity is such kind of the domination of freedom. So, but our activity is becoming some spreading out the freedom to everyone. You know, of course, maybe for us, still 90% of our time is dominated by the business or daily business, I can say. But the remaining 10%, if the remaining 10% is just the free thinkings, then the life is completely different for me. Yeah. So that's why we would like to share such kind of feelings to everyone. Yeah, that's really important, I think. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And so, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I hope the viewers had a good time too. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.